Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we're looking at player props here on a Tuesday night, Nate. We've got about 5 games to choose from on this slate, but we've got some pretty good picks. I think we like a lot of what we're talking about here today. Want to like and subscribe to that page. We've also got a couple other game videos up for you on this slate. Also head to thelines.com. You can check out all the great written content we have up there and use our odds finder tool to make sure you're getting the best juice back on all those U.S. sportsbooks who are offering you bets this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into your first NBA play prop for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Nuggets rolling at home, and the Joker's obviously going to play a big role in that after he lost that individual matchup against Embiid, lost the game in Philly on Saturday. Now he's got a little extra rest, and I'm actually not taking the points here because I'm a little concerned about New Orleans not scoring and this kind of just being a walkover. But even in a blowout, the Joker can put up a ton of peripherals, 10.5 rebounds or 11.5 if you want better odds there, or 21.5 rebounds, assists is even money. And he's averaging 12.5 rebounds, 10 assists, shooting 72% his last 5 against New Orleans. I talked about at home, he has a 140 offensive rating, which is the same as those ones against New Orleans. And he's topped this assist rebounds prop in 9 of his last 10 at home. The exception being a blowout win over the Clippers. So I am a little concerned that this is a blowout, but I don't think New Orleans would do what the Clippers did, which is yank their starters in the first half and just like give Joker the excuse to just sit down. And still, even with that outlier, averaging 12 boards, 12 assists in those last 10 home games, the Pels offense has been awful. So I think you lean on the rebounds even more than the assists here. I think we're probably predicting more of like 12, 13 boards and then the 9, 10 assists that he averages. Is they're allowing the third most rebounds per game in their last 5 roadies, shooting under 47% from the floor, and Joker just cleans up a lot of those misses.
Yeah, I support it, and I like we were saying, I trust there to be a lot of rebounding opportunities when they're playing this Pelly's team that's been the worst offense in the league over the last 8 games or so. So yeah, 102 points a game for the Pellies means a lot of misses and rebounds for Joker. Get those up to like 14 or 15, and you've got an easy assist total that he needs to get over there to get to the 22 combined. So I think it's a good opportunity to get some pretty good juice on his bet there. I'm gonna go with my boy who I've already called my favorite Nick of all time, or at least in the top 3, Jalen Brunson. They have a point guard, an adult on the floor. His points and assists is at 30.5 points on FanDuel. You get that at minus 111. If you want just the points, it's 23.5, a little bit worse juice there, minus 120 on those odds. But they're playing the Lakers, and that means points, and that means bad defense. Lakers are going to be on a back-to-back as well. The Knicks have been off since Saturday, and yeah, the Lakers have been playing a lot of games lately, actually, including that one that LeBron and ended up sitting the last one. But last 2 games, the last games that he's had Jalen there with 2+ days off, which is what he's facing right now. We're talking about 44 points versus the Bucks with 7 assists as well on 50% from the field and a 40% usage. That was a basically your turn, my turn game with him and Julius Randle. And then playing against the Suns, which was a short-handed game that they played against them, but the Suns did they basically just blew him out at that point. It was like a Sunday morning. 33% usage in that one, 24 points in just a limited amount of minutes that he needed there as well. And then you look at versus the Bulls, the last time he also had 2+ days off, 30 points, 7 assists, 29% usage rate, shooting better than 50% from the field as well. So just really efficient games from him and really solid shooting with high usage rates, because in games that they really look to hang with some of these good teams as well, that they really rely on Jalen. The Lakers are not good against point guards. They allow the most points per game over their last couple of weeks to point guards, about 30 or so a game, 29-ish. And they've been playing at that fast pace, second in pace, yet allowing about the 3rd or 4th most points per game this season are the Lakers, and on 0 days rest for the Lake Show, which they are, allowing 127 points per game. So you can expect a bunch of points to be hemorrhaged by them in this one, and baby Jalen Brunson to really take care of things for us.
Yeah, I mean, he's needed that extra rest, especially lately, right? Because he's dealing with the hip or whatever else has kind of limited him. And then his last 2, he seems to be getting right. Nice, like 29-point game against the Nets, solid defense. And I think, he easily gets 24 plus points here, and he's been diming up as well, playing that 2-man game with Randle. I'm sticking with stars here. We said we liked the Clippers after they punted in Cleveland on a back-to-back. They had won 5 straight previously, and Kawhi Leonard has just been carrying their offense to a 137 offensive rating as a team. He individually had a 154 offensive rating in those last 5 wins, just unheard of. So you're not getting much juice on 26.5 points, not getting much if you add the rebounds either. So maybe you want to jack it up one more point. I think he gets at least 28 tonight, so I'd be fine with over 27.5. He's averaging 30 and 6.5 boards and nearly 5 assists in those 5 wins. And Chicago, hey, they play some shootouts sometimes. Either way, they're not the most efficient defense on the wing for sure, allowing the 7th most points, 2nd most assists to small forwards in their last 15. And they are tied for the highest defensive rebounding rate by opponents when they're at home. So they're not really crashing the glass. There should be some good rebounding opportunities. You want to tack on 6.5 boards for Kawhi on these points. I think he gets there as well and continues to carry the Clips probably to a win. They're only minus 2.5 here.
Yeah, I think he knows he can get his, really, to be honest. And I think he's happy to play down low a little bit more against this Bulls team that, I mean, we know what they do down low, which is nothing. And Vooch is really just more of a turnstile down there than anything. So I don't think there's much in the way of opposition that can keep Kawhi out of the paint as well. So I like adding the rebounds. I really like the points as well. Like you said, I think this should be much closer to like 28. So if you want to add a point and get a bit more juice there on an alternate for Kawhi's points, I'd be with that as well. Finishing things off here, Nate, let's close it out with Scary Terry. I'm going to take an under, which could be scary for you to do a 22.5 points because he just dropped 39 against Milwaukee on January 6th, shooting better than 50% from the field. That was the game that was by far the biggest surprise of the season. I think we can all agree at this point, where the Hornets blew out the Bucks. So maybe there's a blowout factor for Scary Terry that the Hornets, no, I think it's the opposite effect. I think the blowout factor is in effect for the Hornets to get steamrolled after what they did to the Bucks last time in Milwaukee. So, I mean, he even had 26 the previous home game versus Milwaukee on December 3rd. That was a game where Giannis and Drew played just 25 minutes each, and Rozier played the 36 minutes in that game. So I think things are a little bit bloated here, Nate, and you were talking about this earlier. In his previous 4 in Milwaukee specifically, 16.5 points a game on 41.5% shooting. Probably a lot more likely to what you should expect being from Terry tonight. That would be a little bit more likely. Milwaukee's allowing the 4th lowest field goal percentage and the 2nd in free throw attempts to their opponent at home in the last 2 weeks or so, which is really when they've started to get their guys actually back and playing. And they allow the 8th fewest points per game to shooting guards over the course of the last week or so. Drew Holiday doing work. So I think it's a good opportunity for him to get a bit more shut down, for them to realize if Scary Terry doesn't even score 23 points, this team has no shot of hanging with us, as we're probably about to drop like 125 on them. So I think that's why you can expect the blowout factor to help you there and them to be focused on Terry Rozier.
Yeah, let's fade him after he cooked them last time. I mean, Drew was either sick or dealing with an ankle injury. I mean, he played in both those games that Terry went off, but he was not at full strength. And now he is. And the Bucks defense is lights out once again. So 22.5 points. I think you tack on some rebounds too if you want. He doesn't really board up either.
Yeah, and the Bucks, I think, like we said, will be running and gunning, not be giving too many opportunities for those rebounds. So maybe they have another sort of 70-point first half to show them what's up right now. But that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us as we look to stay hot on these player props. Until we see you next, happy betting.